Hello, everybody. It is Tuesday, January 74th. I read that. Feels like January 74th here. Give me 1 second. I'm cleaning my glasses. So while I'm waiting for some people to get on here, this is going to be a quick one for you today because with the weather here south of Chicago is going to be really bad for the next couple days. I don't know when I moved to the Arctic Circle, but so my appointments and schedules have been completely changed the next 2 days, so I'm going to have to go to work. So we're going to do this one really quick as soon as I get my glasses cleaned here so I can see what I'm doing. And perfect. All right. Got it. So today's recipe is, drum roll, hang on, gotta get my paper. Sun-dried tomato and basil hummus. So, thought I had everything together, and I did not. Oh, my basil looks sad. Sun-dried tomato and basil hummus. So this is obviously something that you can buy at the store, but anytime that you can make stuff, it's way better because you get to control what ingredients are going into it. So this is going to be a really, really easy, simple dip. You know, what's Super Bowl without dips, right? Of course, that depends on who you're watching the game with. Ha 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 ha. All right, so I'm going to go through the ingredients here and show you how fast it is to do this recipe. And one thing that I want to be clear on, obviously with a hummus, you know, it's something that maybe you might want to dip chips in, but we're trying to control our macros, our protein, fat, carb. I'm trying to share with you this week how you can basically have your cake and eat it too, so you can have healthier snacks during the Super Bowl without breaking the scale, no pun intended. So with this recipe, we're gonna make sun-dried tomato, fresh basil hummus, and I'm going to recommend that you use celery, carrots, to limit the amount of carbs so you don't go over on your macros and you still stay somewhat smart. So I'm going to be using my awesome Vitamix blender. This was probably one of the best investments that I made because it will literally take the pit of an avocado and liquefy it. I mean, this puppy is like the Cadillac of blenders. So I am not gonna have to, hi Etta, I am not gonna have to really chop anything. Everything's gonna go into this Vitamix. If you have a Ninja or a blender that's kind of is good, then you could probably do the same thing. I know that mine is going to destroy these ingredients. So I'm going to move this back. Give me 1 second here. And I'm gonna move my camera down. All right, so my ingredients for this hummus. I'm gonna do 1 can of chickpeas, or AKA garbanzo beans. And again, I forgot to turn my camera, so grab a mirror and then that way you can read the label. One thing that I've already done is took the top off of this, but I'm not gonna dump this whole thing into the blender because I wanna control the amount of liquid. So I will show you what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually drain this because I wanna keep some of the liquid in case my hummus is too thick. So I'm gonna use my little strainer here and I'm gonna just dump these garbanzo beans into my strainer, and then these are gonna go right in. Okay? All right. I'm gonna just set this aside. That's just the liquid from the beans. So 1 15-ounce can of chickpeas in. Then I'm gonna take my sun-dried tomatoes. Now I actually bought Recanto. This is the brand. I think I got this at Mariano's. And again, I apologize that it's backwards. But I'm going to actually take about 7 or 8. Give me a second here. About 7 or 8 of these sun-dried tomatoes out. And I'm gonna just put them on top of this paper towel. 1, 2, 3. These actually have capers in them. I love capers, so that doesn't bother me. 4, 5, whoopsie, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I like sun-dried tomatoes. Let's do 8. All right. So the only reason why I put them on the paper towel is just to drain them a little bit, just because I want to make sure that I'm not getting too much oil in the blender. So I'm doing 8 sun-dried tomatoes. These actually are in, I believe it's in a sunflower oil. Sometimes you can get them in olive oil. So yeah, that's the brand, again, if you missed it. Then I'm actually going to use 1 tablespoon of the oil out of this jar. So I'm going to use my tablespoon, and I'm going to put that right in there. Set those aside. Then we're going to take 1 lemon. So to avoid getting lemon seeds in my hummus, I'm using all kinds of cups and bowls here. I'm actually going to squeeze the lemon into a bowl or this mug, because I do want about 3 tablespoons of lemon juice, and I'm probably gonna have to do more than 1. Let's measure. Oh, maybe not. So there's 1, 2, 3. So it's about juice from 1 lemon. So 3 tablespoons of lemon juice. Then the magic ingredient. This is tahini. Tahini is actually ground sesame seeds is all this is. You can find it at most health food stores, Kroger. It may be found by like the peanut butter. This, I gotta stir it up a little bit. It does separate like a natural peanut butter. So all that I want of this is gonna be 1 tablespoon. And there we go. That was kind of a heaping tablespoon, but it is what it is. All right, now, so far, if you're just getting on, we are making sun-dried tomato and basil hummus. Very easy. It's all the ingredients are going in the blender, and we're gonna blend this puppy up and serve it with some celery or some carrots, some low carb veggies rather than chips, so we can control the macro, the protein, fat, carb. So far in here, we have 1 can, 15-ounce can of chickpeas, which we have separated. So we only put the beans in, and I've got the water from the can in this bowl that we're gonna use as we make it. In case this gets too thick in the mixer, we're gonna use this to thin it out a little bit. Then we have 8 sun-dried tomatoes, which I drained on a paper towel. And then after I let them soak on the paper towel, I put them in the Vitamix along with 1 tablespoon of oil right out of the jar. I did 3 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice, no seeds, because nobody wants to chew on a seed while they're eating hummus. And then 1 tablespoon of tahini, which is basically ground sesame seeds. So we're gonna set that aside. And then I'm also gonna throw in here probably about 5 or 6 fresh basil leaves, boom. And then I'm also gonna put in here, this is a great thing about a Vitamix, is that I don't have to grind up any of this garlic. I can just take the skin off. And I would normally do like 1 clove, but these are pretty small. Probably at the tail end of my, so I'm gonna put in actually about 3 or 4 of these little ones. So either want 1 like decent sized garlic clove, well, there's more skin than garlic here, huh? Now, if you're not using fresh garlic clove, you could also do a teaspoon of minced garlic out of the jar. Whoops, that one fell on the floor. We won't pick it up. Well, we will in a minute, so the dog don't eat it. She'll have garlic breath. Okay. Good. All right, let me clean up my little mess here. I'm a messy cook. I'm gonna put 1 more. These are really little garlic cloves, I must say. Okay, cool. All right, and then the only other thing is gonna be about 1/2 teaspoon of Himalayan pink salt. So again, by me using the Himalayan pink salt, I have the ability to control, where did that garlic clove go? It's gone, oh there it is. To control the amount of sodium that's going in this. So again, about 1/2 teaspoon, that's good. Himalayan salt's very potent, so a little bit goes a long way. Now I already can tell it is probably gonna be dry. I'm gonna go ahead and put 1 tablespoon of my chickpea water that was in the container with the chickpeas. And then I'm gonna put this on, and then this is gonna be loud, but we won't probably have to do this for very long. We just wanna grind this up. Now this blender actually came with this, it's not even gonna reach, is it? It's kind of thick, so I'm actually gonna put another tablespoon. A second. So again, you got to keep in mind that this is, you know, a dip, so we want it thick, but we don't want it, see how it's really thick. So we're gonna add a little bit more of this. So we've got 3 of those tablespoons. Now we've got 4, 5, let's go 6. So I think it's smart to just add it a little at a time, because I'm gonna go more. 7, 8. We got 9 tablespoons of the water from the can. There we go. Wanting it to be thick enough that it's going to blend, but not so thick that it's going to continue to get caught. So, little taste. Perfect. Doesn't need any more salt. So we ended up using about 9 tablespoons of the water from the can. And then this is how we're gonna serve it. So serving size, it becomes a big thing when you're doing dips, because obviously self-control plays a very big part, right? I mean, I could probably eat this whole bowl by myself. So let's bring this down like this. Perfect. So we're gonna move that out of the way. Now, believe it or not, based on the ratios of this, you could utilize this as part of a meal and divide this recipe into 4 servings. That's a lot. So what I want you to see is, you know, obviously if you were dividing this into 4 servings, it's going to count from a macro perspective. It's going to count as half your carbs and all your fat. But if you're having it with some carrots, some celery, you know, if you're going to have it with chips, you really got to have some self-control, because chips are going to blow your macros through the roof very quickly. So I would have this with celery. And honestly, if you were to do like about 1/4 cup of this, it's not going to count for a whole lot with celery. There you have it. So, and then if I was taking it somewhere as a dish to a party, then, you know, obviously I want it to look pretty. So I would probably take a few pieces of sun-dried tomato, put it on top. You could lightly, and I say lightly, drizzle with a little bit of olive oil. And then garnish with your lemon. And there you have it. So, very easy. This one, you literally can throw everything in the blender. Again, chickpeas, tahini, sun-dried tomatoes, lemon, garlic, a little Himalayan salt, and that's it. Voila. Oh, we gotta do a taste test, right? So, again, to keep control of your macros, I would totally recommend celery. Yum. Serving size, you know, you could divide that in 4, and it could be part of your meal. As far as your macros are concerned, it's going to count as half of your carb, all your fat. So you would need to add protein in the other part of your carbs. If you just wanted to have a little bit with on Sunday on Super Bowl, you know, self-control is a big thing. So you could have probably about 1/4 cup of this, and you're just gonna wanna make sure that you also are incorporating the remainder of your meal. So protein and carb. This is gonna be more higher in fat between the oil and the chickpeas. So there you have it. Okay, sun-dried tomato and fresh basil hummus. And it's actually really good with celery. So, all right, if you are in the Chicago area, stay warm. We've got Arctic below 0 temperatures, way below 0 temperatures coming. And I'm gonna be in for the next 2 days, so stay tuned. I'll be bringing you more. Okay, bye-bye.